Welcome to the first episode of the Backstage Pass. Youngen, welcome.
G'day, how you going, Heto?
Yeah, good, mate. We can't wait to get stuck into this. We've been talking about it for the last few weeks, and it's going to be really good for us to talk about live music and then hopefully get out and about when lockdown's all over.
Yeah, mate, keen as for it, man. It's been a tough old lockdown, but it's a really good idea that you've come up with here. Happy to be a part of it, and with the Backstage Pass and get an insight into the musos out there doing it tough with the lockdowns and restrictions. And the plan will be to get out there when Gladys lets us back out. And
Gladys. Come on, Gladys.
Just get backstage with the guys and see how they're going.
Have a few beers and get live. Well, the Backstage Pass is brought to you by Mate Internet and Mobile. Choose a provider you can trust like a mate. Search Mate online to find out more. So we can't thank our sponsors enough, Young, and it keeps us going and keeps everything making us look good too.
Yeah, we need all the help we can get, mate, with a couple of bellends. So
yeah. I was going to wear a Cambridge shirt, but the only Cambridge shirts I have are either wrecked or have a tyre mark over. Now, we might let the viewers in on a couple of those stories later on.
But,
I couldn't find a clean Cambridge shirt, mate.
I just hope you got your cheeseburger off your chest. So
we'll talk about that later. Anyway, so mate, this show is brought to you by Mate Internet and Mobile. But Young, what we want to do is get the viewers. Give the viewers a bit of intro and a bit of background on you. So, how did music start for you, mate?
Mate, probably high school, I'd say, year 8. Just had to choose music as a subject. Having my grandfather, he was a professional drummer for pretty much his whole life. Played jazz, swing jazz all around the world. Played with some big names. Played in the big Glenn Miller band. Toured with Elton John. He did it all. Very inspiring for me. So I just thought I'd choose to play the drums. And he got me my first kit when I was about 12 or 13 years old. And he taught me just the fundamentals at the start. And then I basically self-taught from there, which is just sitting there with my Discman in the headphones and just playing, having a heaps good time by myself downstairs. And so that's, picked up those sticks from then, and met obviously some good mates throughout high school, Dave and Rooney, and just played with those boys in and out of bands for years and years. And then along came Cambridge back in I think it was 2013 we started.
And that's you playing with them in the intro? That's our intro, you playing with Cambridge?
Yeah, the intro there, that's me playing with Cambridge in 2017. We were fortunate enough to tour in the Philippines, which is, I'll probably say that footage there that you've seen is probably the best show I've played to date. It was about 1,000 kids there in Manila. We were supporting With Confidence. They're a Sydney band, and we were also supporting State Champs, an American band that I'm a massive fan of. I'm sure there's plenty of fans of State Champs out there. They're one of the most energetic bands I've ever seen live, and so sound and tight as a band. So the Main also were there. They played the day before us. Unreal to be a part of. Just the whole tour itself. We were well looked after by Vernon, an agent over there. Took us out, treated us well. And the show, as you can see in the intro, just the whole stage production they had there for us was something I'll never forget. So, really.
So take us on some of the big tours you've been on. Then I know you've been on a few, so let the viewers know some of the good tours, and I'll ask you some questions behind some of them.
Righto, mate. We've done a fair amount of tours, dating back to, honestly, 2013 when we started. We recorded our first album it was actually Rooney's studio in his house. We flew out, a producer, Matthew Malpass. That guy he's a freak. He's he's doing really well for himself. He's been doing work with Travis Barker and stuff like that at the moment. So I don't know why he dropped his standards working with me to Travis Barker, but nah, he's killing it, mate. So yeah, look, did that album, and then we toured the Philippines straight away. Did about 5 shows over there, mate. We who else we toured? We did toured.
And they're crazy for your type of music over there. Yeah,
the Philippines. They're very Americanized, if that's a word. They almost sound half American when they talk.
Yeah.
And they love the punk rock, the pop punk scene. They like even some of the bands we played with, some Filipino bands over there. That, mate, if they were here, they'll be doing really well for themselves. It's just a shame that the Philippine music scene, it doesn't really get them anywhere. But they're bloody talented guys. Like I'm still in, I still talk with some of the guys today still. That we met over there. So, so Philippines, great. I've probably got more fans over the Philippines than we do here, to be honest. But yeah, the Philippines is a great country, great people. We toured with Reese Maston. We toured with Newfound Glory over in Singapore in 2015. That's probably another highlight of my career with playing in bands. Newfound Glory being the iconic pop punk band of my generation. They're still going today.
Still strong.
So still killing it. So good to be a part of that tour. The We the Kings tour down in Canberra.
Was that in Canberra?
Yeah, Belconnen, I think. Yeah, so
we've got some stories about that and how we had to. And I was with you on that tour.
Yeah, you were, mate. Yeah.
We had to somehow drive the We the Kings bus back to Sydney.
Yeah.
I still don't even know why they spoke to us at the end of that.
I don't know why either.
I'll let people in just before Youngen takes over and talks about it. So they invited Youngen and the boys, said, come down, we're supporting We the Kings. So Youngen was driving because he had all his drums in the back, and there was a few of us in his car, and we were so blind by the time we got there. We helped him set up and whatever else. Anyway, long story short, we were playing pool, and we just got so destroyed. We carried on like absolute pork chops.
You did. So we went down, obviously supporting We the Kings, really big band.
You took a bunch of dead shits with you.
Yeah, you'd like to impress them, but I thought, I'll bring my mates, and you kind of you fucked that up for us. So no, you were. To be fair, I think the I don't know what it is down in Belconnen, mate, but do you remember the bloke working behind the bar?
Yeah,
he
loved us.
He loved us. He gave us free range to do what we wanted, and I blame the bottles of Fireball that destroyed. Well, you in particular, you were on.
I don't think the dude from We the King's going to talk. He wouldn't want to come on our show, would he?
No, I don't think so. He I'll let you in. So We the Kings, they've got a song, and he likes to talk about each song that he writes, and which is fair play. And everyone's listening to his story. But yeah, Matt decided to start. Well, I wouldn't say it was abuse, but I think he was talking about missing his daughter or something like that. And Heto decided to yell at him to tell him to take his nappy off and get over it.
He was talking about changing nappies and stuff, right? Yeah, right. And I hadn't been out for about 6 months because I think Haven was just born. So I was ready to rip in, and he just started talking about it.
Yeah, so that was a bit embarrassing. But look, we got through the night, and we had a lot of Cambridge merch there that the boys decided just to own themselves without paying us. So it was about five blokes from Penrith, absolutely blind, wearing Cambridge shirts. So it looked really good for the band.
That's what I said.
And then, in the morning, I found Matt on I think it was just me and you in a room, I think. And
no, I was on the lounge.
Yeah, right.
You and Joey were in a room.
Ah, yeah, of course. Yeah. And you're on the lounge. The Cambridge shirt was next to you. You had a half-eaten cheeseburger on your chest, like literally above your nipple. And we had no idea what happened there. And you decided to throw your shirt on. Honestly, mate, the tire mark was from the top right shoulder all the way down to your left hip.
I saw ribs too for ages.
Yeah, you must have been. I think you got run over.
Yeah, I do remember having a $1.45 taxi thing on my bank account. So
yeah, right.
Anyway, that was a good tour, and
it was
like it got introduced to We the Kings. As much as we carried on like dickheads, we were all right at times.
I think so.
But look, I'm not the only dickhead. I want you to run me through what happened on one of the tours where I think you lasted 24 hours before you decided to go and make a call to the emergency department.
Yeah. Okay. So this is our first tour that I just mentioned previously at when we went to the Philippines. It was the year we started, 2013, and we my singer Brad got hold of this guy in the Philippines, Nick Amatic. He's a well-known clothing label guy. He said, "Yep, come over, organize a tour for us." Awesome. I remember leaving, and I was dead excited. First international tour, and my wife, who is now my wife now, she said, "Just be careful. I don't want any trouble. I don't want any phone calls, all this sort of stuff." I said, "Yeah, no, we'll be right. We'll be right. Just get us over there." We got there the first night. I think we just got settled in a room, and we just went out around town locally. Nothing too bad. And then I think it was the next day. There was day 3 was our first show, so we got to day 2, and we were just doing things around the day, going to the mall, as they like to call it, and whatever. And we went out at night, and we hit it hard. Now, in the Philippines, I like when I'm sick of drinking beer, I'll get on the rum and coke and think I'm heaps tough.
Bash people.
Yeah. So you go out to the bar in the Philippines and you say, "Oh, can I just get a Captain Morgan and Coke?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no worries, $5." I'm like, "Cheap, $5." But they hand over a bottle of Captain Morgan and a bottle of Coke. And that you just do what you want. And I'm thinking, fuck, mate, you shouldn't have done that to me. That's not good.
Especially not to you.
No, especially me, mate. So we ripped in and got towards the end of the night, and I was absolutely totaled. And we were leaving. This I don't remember this, but this is how the story goes. According to the boys, it was actually my best mate Dave, who was in the band at the time. He came out and he sat me on a stool out the front of the club. And he said, "Youngen, sit there, don't go anywhere. I'm going to go back in and get the boys, and we'll go back to the hotel." And like, yeah, I'm not going anywhere. He literally sat me down on a chair, walked in, and when he came back, I was flat on the pavement, mate. Claret everywhere. I split my head open here. So knocked out. Boys came out, obviously slightly concerned, rang the ambos. And the next, honestly, I woke up with a needle hanging out the arm in a hospital wheelchair. So I was getting a tetanus shot or something. So I was freaking out a bit. So spent the night in the hospital. Got out the next day and made that dreaded phone call to the missus. That didn't go down too well. So I think I had a patch on my nose and a patch on my forehead. So the first show, the photos didn't go down too well. So, but bloody hell, good times.
Just Scott Young-esque.
Yeah, good times, mate. Good times.
So when we get out of lockdown, we've been talking about obviously how hard it is for musos at the moment, and obviously you're one of them, and your band obviously aren't doing anything at the moment. There's no live shows, there's no pub tours, there's no pubs and that open. So once lockdown's over, we want to get out, get to live shows, get backstage with a few bands, interview a few bands while they're setting up and stuff like that, and show people what bands do.
Yeah, you want to give an insight into into the musicians' life of how they actually work and what they've missed out on. And it'll be really good for the viewers to see how they work and how they go by setting up and just what they do to earn their money. I think the backstage pass with me and you, Heto, just capturing all that, I think it'll be fantastic, and to help share it around for the musicians themselves. But I mean, for us as a band, we haven't played in ages, and it's shit. You don't even have to be a musician to miss out on it. I mean, I'm sure you miss seeing a bit of live music in a pub. A bit of a vibe and all that, and it's horrible. But there is guys that it's their full-time job. So I just honestly, I don't even know if they get support from the government or anything, man, because it's a different thing.
That's what we want to get people on to find out about, right? Our guests that are coming on will give us an insight into what it's like to be a muso in lockdown and how hard it is to get through.
Yeah.
So our first guest coming on will be Marcus Capazaro. So he's a local lad. Went to St. Dom's.
Penrith boy.
Yeah, Dommy's boy. He actually went to school with my brother. Now, give us a bit of background on Marcus. You guys toured together on the Reese Maston tour.
Yes, correct. So Marcus Capazaro is he is a bloody guru with his guitar. He's probably the best guitarist I personally know and have got to know. But fortunately, Marcus actually hooked that tour up for us. He was Reese Maston's guitarist at the time in 2014, and he reached out to us and we said, of course, we'd love to tour. So we had a regional tour lined up with Reese and Marcus. We went out to Griffith and Albury and bloody Wodonga and Wagga. We had some boozy nights. I think the night I had with Marcus was in Albury. Marcus is in all sorts. So
we're going to talk to you about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But he's obviously guitarist for a lot of other people and bands too, right? So he's just been everywhere.
He has, mate. He's I think he's now living in LA. He's gone from strength to strength. Obviously, with the next episode when we are with Marcus, we'll get some more detail for you into everything that he's doing. But I mean, I can rattle off some of the bands he's worked with. It's just Crowded House, Fleetwood Mac, DMAs. He's done it all, man. So and it's only still the beginning for him. He's still only a young fella. He's 30. He'd be only 34 or something like that. So
33, 34.
The guy's killing it. So it'll probably a really good guest to kickstart us off.
A really good first guest.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah.
And he'll have some good stories. Now, obviously, we said once lockdown's over, we want to get out, get to the pubs, and get around to some gigs and whatever else. But, mate, before we finish up, it's also we've been mates for a long time, and we've been obviously playing football for a long time. And COVID's not only stuffed us around for music, but it also stuffed our football season. So
it has. It has.
And anyway, we won't go too much of that because we'll just get a bit twisted. But you're a big football fan, a big Celtic fan.
I am, mate. I am.
And you're enjoying our man Ange over there at Celtic at the moment?
I am. When the news broke out about Ange taking over, I was a bit sort of like, I'm not too sure how to take this. The more I thought about it, I was more excited about Ange coming over, and it's proven to be right. I think he's got all of the Scottish fans on board with him now.
I was going to ask you about that because you got family over there, right? Who were there was a lot of skepticism about what Ange was doing, but you've got your finger on the pulse over there, and it's changed. Yeah. They've changed, haven't they?
They have, mate. My cousins, well, half of them, the other half are all bloody Rangers fans, but we won't talk about that.
No, we won't. You're right.
But they're all on board, Ange. He's a bloody good coach, man. Like he's done a lot for Australia and everything. So to be at the helm of my favourite club that love. It's exciting. You know,
we're going to talk about Ange on the round ball as well with the boys. They're going to go in depth into it for us. So, but also, unfortunately, you're a Manchester United fan as well.
I am, mate. I am. And Ronaldo's back, mate.
Well, it's funny because Scott and I were having a conversation all last weekend, and he went to bed hating Ronaldo.
Yeah.
And calling him every day under the sun. Woke up, and now Ronaldo's gone again for some reason.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the internet, it gets to me, mate. It really, really gets to my emotions. I honestly thought I didn't think he would go to City, but from what I was reading, he was going. So
it would have been so good if he had gone. All those Manc fans just crying themselves to sleep would have been amazing.
Right.
Anyway, but dude, it's going to be awesome doing this backstage pass, right? Especially when we can get back in studio when COVID's over. Yep. We can get our guests in studio. But again, Jeff behind the camera at the moment just does a wonderful job for us at Sensor Studios. So
yep.
But we want to get back in studio and get our guests live in there, and we think it works better.
I think so.
But mate, how's the family? All good?
Yeah, they're all good. They're all good. I think, they're as good as they can be in lockdown, man. Bloody hell.
Hopefully not too long. Well, Youngen, how good's that? That's our first episode. Just a quick intro into what we're going to do, and hopefully everyone can get on board with this because we're not just we're going to get as many guests as we can on. And try and get people to talk about live music again.
Yep, that's it. And, I think it's only going to be around the corner, man. It has been tough, but I think, you know, as months go by, things will start opening up. So we'll be out and about. That's for sure.
Yeah, and we just want to shed some light on musos through lockdown. So just before we go, we've got to thank our wonderful sponsors. Obviously, this show is brought to you by Mate Internet and Mobile. Choose a provider you can trust like a mate. Search Mate online to find out more. But our other sponsors, MG Active. So go and see the logos in MG, and they'll keep you in shape. See, I'm wearing their shirt. It fits even better today. So Ignify Legal. Any legal advice you need, hit Ian and the team up. We'll tag them in on socials and everything like that. So Ian, we can't thank you enough. Monster Clothing have just come on board. So we've tagged them on socials. We'll put out some videos. So they got some sick videos floating around and they do some awesome clothes. So get on board with them. DS Tipping and Excavations, and Sever's helped you out, Youngen, so he does do a pretty good job.
He does, mate. Yeah, my lawn's actually nice and green at the moment. So
he is the best lay in Penrith. He still keeps saying that, so we'll have to work. We'll have to see about that. And Youngen, the guy behind the camera, Jeff Lambert from Sensor Studios. Jeff, we can't thank you enough, mate. You do make us look good. There was a time about 10 minutes before we started where we couldn't get anything going. And
you're doing a great job. The intro is bloody fantastic, Jeff. So thank you, mate.
It does make you look good.
It does, mate. It does.
So, Youngen, thanks, mate. Thanks for jumping on and getting out this first episode. And we'll do another one very soon with Marcus.
Yep.
We've been speaking to Marcus on the go just to try and find a time. He's in America and we're in Australia. So once we sort the time out, we'll rip out another one.
Yep. Keen as, mate. Looking forward to it.
Thanks, dude.
Thank you, mate. Respect you.